continue. So we started a new chapter, number 7, and it's actually the topic that we already spoke a few times, but borer, meaning sorting, but now we're going into details. Of course, it's a very big topic. One of the 29 melachas forbidden on Shabbos is borer, sorting. Sorting is not forbidden categorically. Rather, there are conditions under which it is permitted, even on Shabbos. Furthermore, since the sorting is primarily performed in the course of food preparations, for example, separating impurities from food, it is generally permitted on Yom Tov. However, there are exceptions to this rule. Okay. To help clarify this distinction, we must first define the Melachah and its rules as they pertain to Shabbos. Afterwards, we will outline the situation in which the sorting is permitted on Yom Tov, and those in which which is prohibited. So all these melachos, of course, they apply on Shabbos as well. So Shabbos, as we said, it's more stricter, and in some cases, as we just saw in previous chapter, in some cases on Yom Tov, there's some leniencies. Maybe yes, maybe no. Not always like very big differences. Okay. So is it anything to review? I think no. So okay. So sorting mostly pertain to food preparation. Not always, but mostly it could be sorting of dishes, for example, right? Or dirty dishes, or even clean. Like also not allowed to sort, and other things. But here we're talking about food. Okay. So continue. Part number 1, the Melachah of borer. Borer means sorting. That is separating the one variety from another, which in which it has been mixed. So from first sentence, when it stands, so first we have to define what is a mixture. So if it is not mixed, there is no sorting. So sorting meaning that things must be mixed. We're going to say halachically. I'm sure he's going to explain. Oh yeah, okay, we'll see. I don't see it, but for sure he's going to explain what is a mixture, and then how to break this mixture. Okay, so one more time, the borer means sorting. There is a separating one variety from another in which it has been mixed. So meaning they must be like small pieces or something. It is forbidden not only to sort the entire mixture into components, but even to select a single item from the mixture. This act of separating an element from which a mixture is constituted Melachah of borer. Okay. So let's do this sentence one more time. We're going to explain. It is forbidden not only to sort the entire mixture into components, meaning this goes to the left, this goes to the right? But even to select a single item from the mixture. So on meaning what? Bad from good. So for example, you like as we said before, the best example that I like is you have a cluster of grapes and one is spoiled one, rotten. So you're not allowed to take it out. Not allowed to take it out. Okay. The act of separating an element from within the mixture is constitute the Melachah of borer. So it was mixed, and you take one element out. That's a violation of this Melachah. Continue. In the case of foods where the question of borer frequently arises, the mixture can be composed of 2 or more different types of foods. For example, nuts and raisins. That's a perfect example. Or the food and waste material. Or for example, edible matter with dirt, pits, bones, shells, or spoiled foods. Okay. Common activities that are possibly subject to borer includes peeling fruits, vegetables, eggs, shelling nuts, and removing pits or bones from food. Okay. Foods, however, the Melachah is not restricted to the sorting of solid foods, for solid items, but also applies to the liquids. For example, skimming the fat from soup. Okay. And from non-foods, for example, sorting cutlery. In all these cases, the mixture to which the law of Borera applies can contain either several types of useful items or one useful item intermingled with some sort of waste material. Okay, so it's a lot of information. So let's do this paragraph one more time and we're going to explain, because if you never learn this, that's too much information. Okay, so let's do it from the beginning. We're going to explain. In case of foods, where the question of barrier frequently arises, the mixture can compose of two or more different types of foods. So mixture, so like small enough, right? The piece is small enough, so they look mixed, right? So meaning what? So raisins and nuts mixed. So like if you have a bowl of fruits and you have two apples and one orange and plus banana, they're not mixed. So because they clearly defined, and they're not mixed. Okay, they're one on top of the other, but they are not mixed. Right? But the nuts and the raisins, for sure, they're mixed. So, for example, if a person wants to eat only raisins, for whatever reason, there's no problem. He can or she can take only raisins and eat. But if they want to eat raisins, but there are a few nuts, they're still there, so a person would not be allowed to take out the nuts in order for raisin to remain. That's a clear violation of this Melachah. So only remember, first the condition, good from bad. Bad is whatever you don't want. Okay, continue. Or the food and the waste material. So it's two foods, mixture of two or more foods. Or food and waste material, for example, edible matter with the dirt. So it's not so simple. So you cannot you use colander or something like that to wash your grapes or something, right? So why? Right? Why? Because you're going to separate bad, whatever you don't want, from good. What is good from the foods on Shabbos, on Shabbos, at least on Shabbos. So on Yom Tov we're going to see. Of course, you would be allowed to wash it like under the faucets in your hands, because you have no choice, but not with any special instruments. Okay. So one more time of this inedible matter. Edible matter with the dirt. So like we have to when you wash fruit in order to be eaten, right? So that's have to be careful. Pits, right? So you cannot remove just a pit and continue eating. What would be the example? Oh, that's our friend asked us about this avocado, right? So you want to take the pit out, so it would not be allowed, right? It's very interesting. Pits out. Bones. So you cannot remove bones from chicken. You can eat meat around the bone, but you cannot just simply remove the bone and put it aside, right? So all of this are shells. Shells also. I mean, shell. What was the problem with the shell? When you have a shell, the only way to get to the food is to shell for example, the egg. Okay, but he just gave an example, but with a shell and an egg, there is only one straightforward way, like to separate bad from good. There is no other way. Right? Or spoiled food. And spoiled food, the example that I gave is just one grape, right? So you have the whole cluster. So eat all of the fresh grapes, all the good grapes, but leave that one alone. Okay. So continue. Common activities that possibly subject to barrier include peeling the fruit. So when you peel the fruit, for example, you want to eat apple. So we gave this example. You want to eat apple and you want to peel. So first of all, on Shabbos you would not be allowed to use the apple peeler, right? Not apple, but vegetable peeler, the same one. on Yom Tov you would be allowed, right? And in this case, you separated bad, whatever bad for you is a peel, from good, from apple that you want to eat. Okay, so we're going to see how to do that. Just one second, lost the peel the fruit, vegetables and eggs, shell and nuts, right? Also, right? With nuts, it's very, very, very simple, right? On one hand, there's no other way for you to get to the nut, unless you crack the shell, right? But how to remove the pieces of nut, we're going to learn. And removing pits or bones from the food. Okay, so continue. However, the melacha is not restricted to the sorting of the solid foods, right? But also to the liquids. For example, skimming the fat from the soup. So this fat, what does it mean? The fat is actually liquid. Yeah, it's like it is on top, but it's something that you do not want. Okay, so that's also sorting. Okay, or like filtering the liquids. For example, a person has orange juice with pulps, and he or she does not want the pulp, so you would not be allowed to filter it, right? Or also applies to non-food items. For example, sorting cutlery. So you have cutlery that was washed, right, and it's and you want to put it in a drawer, right? So it's not so simple. We're going to learn how to do that because they're mixed. So you have this container in your dish drying rack, right, and you have knives and spoons and forks, everything together. For sure, it is mixed. Okay, even though you can see that like a separate utensil, but it is mixed. In all cases, the mixture to which the law of Berera applies can contain either several types of useful items, right? So as we said, this nuts with raisins, or one useful item intermingled with a sort of waste material, like I would say this nuts. Okay, so it's a lot of waste material and a little piece of nut. Continue. In the context of borer, the term food is commonly used to describe the desirable item within the mixture, whether edible or not, and term waste is used to describe the item that is currently not desirable, whether it's truly useless or not. Okay, so I mean it is confusing. So the waste is not necessarily waste. Waste is some like halachically they use this word because it's a direct translation. So waste is something that you do not want. For example, if you want raisins but do not want nuts from this mixture, so raisins are going to be food and the nuts are going to be waste. Of course, it's not waste. It's you don't want it. So whatever you don't want it, it's considered to be waste. Waste, food in double quotes, and waste is also in double quotes. For example, if one needs only spoons from the pile of the mixed cutlery, the spoons would describe as food. Of course, it's not food, but halachically, right? And the forks and knives are waste because you need only spoons for a dessert, right? This distinction is critical, for we'll see below that there are circumstances in which it is permitted to remove food from waste, right? Food from waste, so that's actually straightforward, but not waste from foods, even on Shabbos. Okay, so we're going to see in a practical examples. I mean, we already covered many of them, but we'll see more specific. 1 second. So again, food is something that you want, and waste something that you do not want. Right? It applies to foods and to the non-foods as well. All of the mixtures. Okay, so continue. The prohibition. Let me quickly check time. Time flies so fast. I don't know where it's going. The prohibition of Borera applies even when selecting is not desirable. For example, randomly separated mixture mixed cutlery to set the Shabbos table is forbidden. Right? So what does it mean? You have this container where in your dish rack when all of this your cutlery was drying, right, after you wash, and so you cannot take like with your eyes closed, like something from there. Okay, oh, it's not okay. It's go on the right side of the plate, right? Or it is spoon. It goes next to it, right? So that we don't do that. That's random is also selected. Okay. Continue. So, as for example, randomly separated mixture cutlery to set Shabbos tables is forbidden. So we're going to see about Yom Tov. Even though each fork or spoon is picked up and random and placed in a proper spot. Okay, so I mean, okay, there like it's not like I want only spoons. No, I want everything, right? So I cannot take all of this like in my hand and start like putting it in the right place. That's the problem. We're going to see how to do that properly. Okay, so this activity, so when you have all of this cutlery in your hands, for example, the activity is governed by the laws of Borer and must be performed only to permitted manner described below. So we're going to discuss how to do this. So like in summary, you have to break the mixture. So if it is not mixed, there is no problem. Only the problem only when it's mixed. But we're going to go in details next time. For a complete discussion of how thoroughly complete discussion thoroughly and the various elements of the mixture must be intermingled. Meaning how thoroughly, meaning how like if one on top of the other is it intermingled or not, in order to constitute the mixture, and how. So okay, that's what we discussed, right? So we have to give definition of the mixture, like how good or thoroughly it must be mixed, and how different they must be to form each must be from each other in order to describe as a food and waste. So, for example, if you have like some similar food, but it's not the same. For like nuts, you have peanuts and you have other nuts. Like are they very different? They're not very different, right? But are the mixture of good and bad, like waste with food or not? Okay, so we're going to stop here. But you see, this is actually a very long chapter. Baruch Hashem. A lot to say. So, but at least I think we cover all of the bases, and we're going to build up on all the bases in the next class. Okay.